That's right, dear audience. I accidentally wrote a 2-page short story. And yes, I'll read it out to you in this video. The timestamp should be here, so if you want to just skip to the story you can, but I'd first like to go over how this all came about. It all started on the 22nd of June 2022. I was scrolling through Facebook when I discovered that there was a little writing competition at the university in my old home city of Wollongong. And yes, there was actually a cash prize. Being the penniless bum that I am, I decided, well, this would be a great opportunity for me to both practice my writing skills and make my wallet a little bit heavier at the same time. I immediately began work on an idea that had been floating around in my head for quite a while now, but I had never truly attempted to pin it down before, mainly because it was too big and complex to actually really conquer before. And that wasn't really helped by the fact that this writing competition had a 2-page hard limit, so you couldn't go over that. There were other rules and guidelines too, but none were really as restricting as that one. But nevertheless, I didn't give up, and I was able to write it out. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have a better look at the rules and guidelines, because as it turns out, well, while I was of age to enter, and the competition was open to university students, right? But it was also open to the public. But as it turns out, it was a very specific part of the public. Yeah, the public in the Illawarra region where Wollongong lies, and where I no longer live. So, I did ask, as well, just to double check, and yeah, I wasn't allowed to enter. Ah well, live and let learn. But now that I do have the story actually completed, I don't want to waste it either, so I've decided to put it up here on YouTube for you guys to have a listen to. You know, you can judge it for yourselves. In fact, you can even judge it using the guidelines that the judges would have used at the competition. The guidelines are experimentation, originality, skill, and engagement. So, while you're listening to me read the story, keep those in mind, and, you know, you can rate me based on that. And any feedback is welcome. It doesn't have to be pleasant. Just, if you think it's crap, tell me it's crap. Please, I'd rather you tell me it's shit than tell me it's good. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't help me get better. And if, you know what, if I can become a better writer for you guys, you know, I think that helps everybody. Because it means I put out better stories for you to listen to. I'm also not sure how this whole copyright thing works, either with my story. I'm not sure if it's now under copyright because I put it online or anything. I don't know. As well, as I was writing it, obviously, I've gotten inspiration from different places. So, you know, you'll have to keep that in mind while reading it. And if it is similar to other people's work, I am sorry about that. That's just going to happen anyway. Although, I don't think this violates copyright because I'm not making money off of it anyway, so I don't think that really matters. But, yeah, you understand. Oh, and if there's any would-be thieves out there going to try and steal my work, you bet. I'll give you a bloody good finger wag, and that's for damn sure, so don't steal it. With that all out of the way, I present to you the story, which I didn't give a name, because I wrote it in 4 days and I forgot to give it a name. I'll let you guys name it.
Transcript started. Hello, my dear assistant. It is good to see you have found this message. It is me, Dr. Crockenschultz. You most likely have not heard of me yet, which is fine, but it looks like I have accidentally sent these pages to you too early. I will explain everything I have discovered in this message, but you will have to wait until after you have met me and the accident has occurred to read the next 2 pages, as reading further on right now may break reality. Now, I will explain what I have seen, despite the fact that you were clearly going against my warning. Firstly, I did not die during the accident, and our experiment into trans-dimensional travel worked. However, I am now trapped in the 4th dimension. You may be thinking, how was the good old doctor talking to me? How did he send me this message? Good thinking. That is why you are/were/will be my assistant. These pages you are looking at are special papers that transcend the barriers of our dimension. So I am able to write this message up here on this paper and send it down to you. So these pages are the only ones in existence that are capable of being sent to you. So have some respect and don't blow your nose with them. Oh, and the coolest part about these papers is that I am writing on them while you read them. I can see your facial reactions and the neurons in your brain processing the information right now. But just because I can see through your brain, it doesn't mean I know what you're thinking. To me, your brain is a mess of neurons firing off, which is impossible for me to decipher. I have developed augmented vision as a result of being here. The best way to describe it is that I have super X-ray vision. I consider it super as I can see the space between spaces and every side of everything simultaneously. The best way to explain that is via a cardboard box. When you look at a cardboard box, you can only see a maximum of 3 sides at once. Its front, maybe the top/bottom, and one of the other side, unless you cheat by flattening it. You cannot see through it, nor can you see all 6 sides of the box at one glance. Your brain will fill in the gaps about the other sides, and the interior. They still exist, and you know that, but you cannot see them all at once. But for me, when I look at the same cardboard box, I can see all 6 sides at once. I can also see through it, and see the inner sides too, so that's another 6 for me, which makes 12 sides altogether, plus the empty interior space as well. And I can tell you're getting bored with what I'm saying, which surprises me. I expected this lack of interest from the rest of the society, but not you. You were the only person I've ever cared for, and I understand that you haven't met me yet, but one thing you'll have to know before you do is that I've never really liked people. I can't stand them, and they can't tolerate me, and I'm okay with that. But I sacrificed my life to a higher cause, right? So why should I give up all this scientific information to them? I have seen the future, and I know that none of this knowledge that I have given you ever gets used. So maybe I shouldn't tell you what I found after all. Damn it. I went too far. I can tell. I can tell by your face. I'm sorry. Would you like to hear a bit more of what I've discovered? You know, before I run out of paper? I guess I could tell you that why I'm never coming back. And don't worry, the explanation is very simple. When I came here, I had a body. It just sort of died of dehydration. Can you blame me? I was floating around the 4th dimensional space freaking out for days. Eventually, over the course of years, my body began to rot away. I'm not sure why it took so long, but once that horror was finished, all that was left of me was my freed mind. And 1 millisecond after that torture ended, my mind immediately expanded across all of space and time. So yes, I am everywhere and anywhen. Speaking of anywhen, I've also seen everything across all of time, and I have to say, what a show. And I may be the only person to see it all. I've seen every star born, every nebula rise, every alien civilization that's popped up, and every black hole fade away into nothingness. I've watched it all play out an infinite amount of times too, so I know everything that has occurred and will occur. You humans, for example, will fully leave the Earth by the year 8925, to spread out amongst the stars. And as it turns out, dolphins are not that smart. It is actually the octopuses who rise up and claim the Earth for themselves after our departure, until they eventually leave the Earth for the stars too. So, I was right. I distinctly remember you betting dolphins were smarter than octopuses, so you owe me $20, or the future you might. I don't think it matters at this point, but you can take my word for it. Just leave a $20 note next to you. No, I can't pick it up as I don't have hands anymore, but it's the thought that counts. If I can be honest with you for a moment, I should have never have come here, and I regret not testing the tech more before the accident. And I cannot allow you to stop me either. You're already taking enough risks by reading this before you've met me. If you stop the accident, I'm not sure what malevolent consequences would follow. But I've seen it all, and I'm not sure what to do now. But I can't just lay down and die either, or do whatever the 4th dimensional equivalent of that is. My scientific nature won't allow it. After all, I did find a new fundamental force that is working on us all right now, but was previously undetectable in the 3rd dimension. The force itself feels like a cross between gravity and a headache, and so I decided to call it the Krockenschultz force, after myself. Maybe I should continue to research that. Maybe that's all I can do. I'll have to keep moving forward into the unknown, no matter what. I believe the Krockenschultz force is coming from a higher dimensional level of existence, so I'll have to get up there to truly understand it. One level higher ought to do it. Oh, and I haven't come across God yet, but if I make it to the 5th dimension, he might be there. And if I do bump into him, I'll say hi on your behalf. After that introduction, my first question to him will be the greatest universal question of all time. Why? And I hope he's got a good excuse. Now, don't cry for me. Yes, I'm running out of paper to transcribe my message on, and I will never be able to talk to you ever again until you meet me for the first time. But I've lived a great life, and I was glad to have met you. I'll always be watching over you, praying for you, yelling at you what you should obviously be doing, like sport fans do when they watch their favorite team screwing up. But I've seen your future, and you live a relatively good life compared to all the horrific lives you could have lived in the past. And I wish you all the best. But this is Dr. Krockenschultz, signing off. Oh, and one more thing. Gosh, this is hard to write with you watching. but I have and always will. God, I just need to work up the confidence to tell you that. I love transcript. Ended.
And that's the end of the story and the video. I don't know when the next video will be coming out. I'm not entirely sure. Things are a little bit weird schedule-wise, but I do want to come back with more content soon. Anyway, I might close this video out like Anthony Fantano does. Transition. Did you give my story a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best. You're the best. Comment down below what I should do next. This is D'Anthony Cantano. Accidental Story. Forever.